Hi there, welcome back to Rick on Tesla. In today's video we're going to be talking about Tesla Collection Day, the most exciting day in the whole ordering process obviously. We'll be talking about what you can expect on the day, what to bring with you, the kind of things you need to check for when you're doing your inspection of your brand new Tesla, and also some tips on what to do immediately after you've collected and signed off your Tesla, so make sure you stick around for those tips as well. First thing that you've got to do is give yourself plenty of time to collect your car, so you don't want to be rushing this and you don't want to just get too excited, sign it off and drive off without having checked it at all, because on site they've got people there that can repair any minor issues, and it's just easier, especially if it's undercover, it's not rained on your car, that you can really give the paintwork a good inspection, have a look at the interior, and all the minor issues that I found with my car, they resolved them on site there and then in just a few minutes. So I would give yourself at least an hour to go through the inspection process and to sign off the vehicle and drive it away. For me personally, I was there about an hour and a half. There was no sort of rush, no fixed time slot that I had to be out by or anything like that, and the staff there were very relaxed, very helpful. So in my case, I was collecting my car from the Trafford Centre collection point. There was loads of Teslas there on that car park just waiting for their owners to come and collect them. So the first thing you'll do is go into the reception area where you'll be greeted by a friendly member of staff, and you'll just need to present to them your driving license and proof of insurance as well, that you've got insurance for the car when you drive it away from site. In my case, for proof of insurance, I just showed them a PDF on my mobile and that was fine for them. After that, you'll make your way through to the Tesla inspection zone, which had a really good vibe. It had like upbeat house music and dance classics sort of pumping out. So when you first lay eyes on your Tesla, it's going to be very exciting. It will be love at first sight and it'll be easy to get carried away and just think, right, I'm just going to get in it and drive off. I recommend taking a checklist with you so you can tick off all the important items you need to check through, so when you drive off you know that you've given it a really good inspection and that you're happy with the car you're driving away. So I used a checklist that I got from a Facebook group for Model 3 owners here in the UK, but I'll put a link in the description below so you can download this inspection checklist yourself. So let's get into what it is that we'll be inspecting on the car. Firstly, we want to check the exterior for any issues with the paintwork, dents, scratches, or any panel gaps or anything like that, although I think panel gaps are a lot rarer than they used to be. I think they've got that dialed in for the newer models. So as you go around, you're just going to want to tick those boxes off. And for me, I just found one or two very minor scuffs on the outside paintwork, and these were polished away in a couple of minutes by the on-site technicians. So here's a tip for when you're inspecting the paintwork. Don't do what I did, which is just roll up and start looking around and saying, is that a scratch or is it a hair, is it something else? And licking your finger and rubbing the paintwork, which isn't the best look, you know, when you're trying to pick up a 40 or 50 grand car. Instead, I'd suggest bringing a couple of microfiber cloths and some water, and then you can have a little gentle rub on these different areas and see if it is indeed a scratch or a thing that needs to be polished or sorted by the technicians on site. Next, we'll move on to the interior, where you'll want to check all the interior trim, lighting, and for the trim, just check there's no marks or tears, the material's not bunched or folded, and there's no sort of blemishes on the seats. So for me, on the interior, there was very little wrong. There was a small mark on the driver's sun visor that got rubbed out very quickly. There was like a little remnants of some of the stickers that they have, like when I think they bring them over to the UK and then they remove all the stickers from new, and there's just a bit of sticky stuff left on anyway, and they were removed quickly and easily as well. Now there was a very minor issue unlocking the right rear door. All other doors, just if you press the exit button very lightly, the door springs open and away you go. On that right rear door, if you pressed it, the window kind of jerked up and down a few times and the door didn't unlock properly. It was kind of half unlocked, if you will, and it needed to be held down for like a second if you wanted to unlock it. Not a big deal, especially since we've got kids and we've got child lock on in the back anyway, but any sort of niggle like that you want to bring up with them and see if they can fix it on site. Next, you'll want to check that the audio works in the different speakers in the car. A fun way to do this is to go on to the toy box menu and go to emissions, which is aka the fart machine, and then you can just select where you want the fart noise to come out from in the different places and just check that it does actually come out from there. This is obviously essential functionality for those that have got kids, because Kids absolutely love the fart machine in the Tesla, so you want to make sure that's working and bring a smile to the little faces. Next, you'll want to check that you've got all the floor mats are in good condition, the accessories of things like the charging cables are all present and correct. Next, you want to check the screen itself, make sure there's no scratches or issues like that, and then use the actual screen to check things like the air conditioning. You want to go through, check each of the heated seats work. In my car, there is a heated steering wheel as well, which was very nice. Checked all that worked, everything seemed great for me. So you're almost done at this point. You can give your list of issues that you found to the technician. They will go away and try and resolve those as best as they can on site. And meanwhile, just go through and start signing off the final paperwork. And once you sign off the final paperwork, then the Tesla app should update and your car should appear within the app within 5 to 10 minutes. Just so you know, if it's a rainy day when you're collecting your car, or there's any other issues that stop you from really being able to identify any issues with the car, you still have like 100 miles, I think, or 7 days to be able to report any issues from that collection on the Tesla app itself, and then they will send out a service engineer to try and resolve it, or you would take that to your local Tesla service center. Alright, so we're happy with the Tesla, we're ready to rock and drive off. Now there's just a few things I would say before you set off that you should do. Number 1, enable pin to drive. So as it sounds, this is a very simple but great security feature where you have to enter a 4-digit pin before you can put the vehicle into drive. So obviously it's a great deterrent for any thieves. If they did manage to break into your car, they can't drive it away even if they had a key, unless they know the pin as well. Number 2 would be the drive mode that you select. So you've got chill, standard and ludicrous or performance. I think on the performance models I've just got a Model 3 long range. If you're a nervous driver, you may want to put it into chill just to start with, just to get used to the feel of the car. The other thing with drive mode is you can select what you want to do when you take your foot off the accelerator, whether you want it to cruise, whether you want it to hold and use regenerative braking. And I would suggest you get used to using the regenerative braking as soon as you can do, really. And I think sometimes people have an issue with the regenerative braking because they just lift straight off the accelerator, and you just need to get used to like a brake. Instead of pushing it down just whack full on, you always brake gently, and just with the accelerator you just lift up gently, and you'll have no problems with motion sickness or anything like that. I've never had any issues with that. As long as you've not got a heavy foot and you're not just planting it on and off, then you'll be absolutely fine. So if you're getting some value from the tips that I'm giving here on this video on collection day, I'd really appreciate it if you could smash that like button so others can find this video too. Number 3, check the range that you've got in the car. Is it enough to get you home? Do you need a little top up? Could you arrange that on site with them? Or can you get to a supercharger en route to give you a quick top up? Hopefully you would have ordered via a referral code, so you hopefully have 1,000 supercharger miles to use up anyway. Number 4, enable 2-factor authentication on your account, because if you do not, then if someone can get your username and password, they can remotely control your Tesla and do all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't want them to be able to do. You can do this ahead of collection day, but if you haven't done it by now, I'd certainly do it when you get home. And final reminders, absolutely do not forget your driving license and your proof of insurance. Bring a couple of microfiber cloths and some water. Bring your inspection checklist with a clipboard so you're not crumpling up the paper or writing on the car or writing on your knee or something daft like that. And yeah, just enjoy the experience of picking up your Tesla and driving it for the first time. For me, it took me 90 minutes, but the time just flew by just like that. So obviously this is the final stage in the ordering and collection process. If you haven't seen my other videos, I'd suggest going back and having a look at those, especially if you haven't placed your order yet. And if you haven't placed that order and you've not got a referral link to use, then please feel free to use mine. I'd really appreciate that. We will both get 1,000 supercharger miles if you do. Okay, all the best in picking up your Tesla. I hope you enjoy it. It's an absolutely fantastic day for me, and I'm sure it will be for you too. And I'll see you in the next video.